They ask where power is born. I do not answer. I decree power is not born. It is claimed. It does not arise from the crowd. It does not come with applause. Power is silence mastered, thought obeyed, will forged. The world bows to those who have bent themselves first. That is the unspoken truth you were never taught. You look to the noise of rulers and forget the greatest kings never raised their voices. They had no need. What they commanded inward, the world arranged outward. Do not ask how to rule. Ask first, have I earned the right to command? Have I ruled the rebellion within? Have I silenced the traitors in my own court? Doubt, desire, distraction. If not, you are not ready to speak with authority. You are still a subject not yet sovereign. You are not feared because you are not obeyed, and you are not obeyed because your thoughts themselves are unruled. Do not mistake movement for power. The peasant stirs. The courtier whispers. The mob shouts. But none of them rule. True rulers sit still. While others run to be seen, they vanish into thought. The empire is moved not by frenzy, but by decision. There is no crown for the restless. There is only exhaustion. To reign is not to act often, but to act once with finality. When I speak, I do not speak to be heard. I speak to end all other voices. That is the discipline of the mind. One voice, one command, one law. If you still argue with yourself, you are unfit to lead others. The first domain of conquest is the inner court. There is no external throne for a man who has not conquered the halls of his own thought. You want victory but cannot last 1 hour alone in silence without fleeing into noise. You want wealth but cannot delay one appetite. You want loyalty from others but betray yourself daily. The undisciplined man is not free. He is not noble. He is not dangerous. He is nothing but a well-dressed servant begging to be ruled. You ask for influence but have not yet gained influence over your own mind. Your opinions change with the wind. Your values collapse under pressure. You do not decide, you drift. You do not lead, you adapt. Such men are not kings. They are puppets, and the strings are held by fear, comfort, emotion. You were not born to be soft. You were born to take command. The age of indulgence has made you fragile, but within you, buried beneath weakness, there is still the iron of kings. You must awaken it. You must resurrect the throne, not by following the world, but by withdrawing from it. Step back. Look in. Shut the gates. Prepare your court. For until you learn to command yourself, you will obey others. Until you learn to say no to yourself, you will never say yes with conviction. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is the coronation of your will. When you say, "This is what I do," and your flesh obeys, that is royalty. That is empire. Do not be deceived by the age. They will tell you to feel everything, share everything, express everything. This is not freedom. This is disintegration. A ruler who expresses every impulse is a child with a scepter. He has no realm, no wall, no weight. Power is the ability to hold, not to release. To withhold, not to collapse. You must become a fortress of restraint, not a fountain of reaction. You must learn to decide and decide without committee. Kings do not vote on what must be done. They do it. So must you. They say force is power. They are wrong. Force is the cry of the weak. It is the tantrum of one who cannot lead by presence. Real power has no need to raise its hand because it has already raised the standard within. The disciplined man commands without lifting a finger. His very posture becomes law. His silence becomes verdict. His energy becomes decree, and those around him feel it. They shift. They move. They obey not because they were told, but because they were shown what order looks like. Do not chase compliance. Embody sovereignty. The world mirrors what it senses. You do not force water to reflect. You become still, and it does. Those who live by force will always need more of it. But those who live by inner command rule once and never again. They do not repeat themselves. They do not argue. They do not explain. Explanation is for men unsure of their own voice. You must understand this. The disciplined mind is not loud. It is final. It is total. It is cold, not cruel, and that coldness protects it from decay. Emotion cannot bribe it. Fatigue cannot dissuade it. Flattery cannot seduce it. It is sealed, and because it is sealed, it is sacred. There will be war within, the war of old habits, the war of lesser desires, the war of the former self gasping for air as it drowns in the discipline you now impose. Let it drown, let it beg, let it burn. The throne is not inherited, it is seized from the corpse of who you used to be. There is no room for both the king and the coward in the same body. One must die, and you must choose who. Every day, every hour, the crown is offered to you, not by the world, but by the battlefield inside. Will you rise from bed when comfort says no? Will you speak with clarity when emotion floods your chest? Will you act with intent when fear clouds your mind? These are not small acts. They are royal acts. They are decrees, and every time you obey them, the crown tightens, the throne steadies, the realm expands. Do not chase ease. Ease is the banquet of the fallen. The sovereign eats from discipline, he drinks from silence, he sleeps beneath the banner of unwavering will. And if he wakes, it is only to conquer again. You are not here to feel good. You are here to build law, the law of self-rule. Every act of discipline etches that law deeper. Every denied temptation sharpens the sword. Every silent victory over chaos builds the empire brick by brick. Others may chase freedom. You create it. You do not request sovereignty, you become it. Quietly, fully, irreversibly. You must come to understand this when the mind obeys itself. The world does not resist it. There is no need to chase, to beg, to convince. The truly sovereign man imposes no effort. His decisions vibrate with such precision, such stillness, that reality shapes itself accordingly. You are not here to wrestle with circumstances like a peasant clawing at scraps. You are here to establish order by presence alone. When you master the inner mechanism of thought, the gears of attention, the blade of decision, the furnace of imagination, the outer world folds before you, like a flag under windless skies. Do not confuse this with mysticism. It is monarchy at the highest level. The throne does not float. It is built brick by brick through acts of unwavering will. Your internal law must be so absolute, so pure, that nothing within you dares to oppose it. Rulership is not a role, it is a condition of being. You become the lawgiver, not through approval, but through solitude. You are not crowned in front of crowds, you are crowned in chambers. No one sees when you do what is required, when no one will praise you, when no one will know. The sovereign does not act for recognition. He acts because the law must be upheld. The law is himself. His standard is not dependent on time, mood, or emotion. It is fixed. It is absolute, and so his world bends to him, for he has bent nothing within himself. There is no contradiction in him, no duality, no secret rebellion. That is why his rule is clean. That is why his presence cuts through falsehood without effort. Men feel his judgment before he speaks, because he does not waver internally. His very silence becomes command. You speak too much. Not with others, but with yourself. You whisper doubt. You negotiate with laziness. You console weakness. You allow voices to exist in your court that should have been exiled long ago. You cannot expect to rule when your own mind mocks your authority. If your word means nothing to you, it will mean nothing to the world. This is the first test. Say you will act and act. Say you will rise and rise. Say you will build and build. The man who follows through becomes divine. Not because others say so, but because he no longer needs to be reminded who he is. His will becomes flesh. His thoughts become stone. His decisions become time itself, organizing reality into the pattern of his desire. You are not your thoughts. You are the ruler of your thoughts. Treat them as soldiers, not as kings. They are not to be followed. They are to be trained, commanded, shaped. The mind is not your identity. It is your empire. And every empire left without law turns to dust. You must become the architect of your own order. Filter out what does not serve. Burn what does not obey. Remove what does not align with your standard. You think this is cruel, it is not. What is cruel is to live under the rule of chaos. What is cruel is to be a slave to the random noise of thought. Discipline is not cruelty, it is mercy, for it delivers you from the 1,000 tyrants inside you. Understand this: imagination without control is delusion, but controlled it is prophecy. Faith without structure is noise, but directed it is fuel. Desire without discipline is destruction, but forged it is divine fire. You were given these powers not to be ruled by them, but to rule with them. They are not your masters, they are your ministers. But if you do not command them, they will tear you apart. Your vision must sit above them all, unmoved like the sun. If you live by how you feel, you will fall. But if you live by what you decree, you will rise slowly, brutally, eternally. There are no shortcuts. No one will hand you this crown. Not time, not fate, not family, not God. You must take it. Every second you delay your own discipline, another man is building his. Every excuse you protect is a blade against your empire. Every indulgence is treason. You cannot lead a kingdom if you cannot lead your mourning. You cannot govern a nation if you cannot govern your appetite. Sovereignty begins not with power, but with refusal. Refusal to delay. Refusal to shrink. Refusal to compromise with the coward inside you. That refusal becomes identity. That identity becomes legacy. Do not be tempted by quick victories. Do not bow to fast applause. The sovereign plays a long game. He knows the world bends, not to bursts, but to persistence. Discipline is the slow hammering of greatness into bone. The crowd may laugh, the world may mock, but the sovereign walks alone, not because he is abandoned, but because he walks ahead. And eventually the world will follow, not because he demanded it, but because he became undeniable. That is your task. Become undeniable, so refined in your law, so clean in your execution, so total in your command that even silence roars when you enter a room. You are not alone. You are watched, not by others, but by your future self, the one you could become. He watches from beyond time, waiting to see if you are worthy to merge with him. He is strong, he is unshaken, he is immortal. And every moment you choose discipline, you walk toward him. Every moment you give in, you drift away. You do not evolve by chance, you evolve by allegiance, allegiance to your higher vision, allegiance to the law you declared before emotion tried to rewrite it. The world will tempt you to forget. The world will whisper comfort. Let it whisper. Let it scream. Let it kneel. You do not kneel. Not to noise, not to fear, not to yourself. The crown is not heavy when the neck is strong. Strength is not found, it is chosen. You must choose it every hour, every breath. Choose the harder path. Choose the longer path. Choose the lonely path, for that is the royal road. That is where empire is built, not in gold, but in character. When all others sleep, you rise. When all others distract you, build. When all others hesitate, you strike. This is not performance. This is not routine. This is your religion. You are not worshipping yourself. You are worshipping who you must become. And that worship is paid in pain, in silence, in repetition, in glory. You want freedom. Earn it, not by fighting the world, but by mastering yourself. Those who rule with force must always look over their shoulder, but those who rule with discipline sleep in peace. They are not shaken by markets, by moods, by men. Their power does not move because their law does not bend. They speak once, and the world responds. They act once, and reality shifts. This is not magic. It is monarchy of the mind. You are not here to react. You are here to reign. Rule your breath. Rule your thought. Rule your time. Rule until nothing within you contradicts the law you were born to carry, and then you will no longer need to shout. You will not even need to speak. You will become command.